Hello, Pendle here from Soundust, and I'm here to show off the new collaboration I've made with GeForce Software for a dusty, organic, beautiful and slightly strange sound bank for the M-Tron Pro IV. I'm going to show you some of the sounds straight away now, and then there'll be a more elaborate talk through about how you can use it yourself and how it could fit really nicely into your music, I hope. So, see you in a minute. Bye. So now it's time for the science part. So we're going to go through some of the sounds and we'll have a look how they're made. And we'll start at the very beginning, and why not, with 3 pianos, solo it there. We've got it panned into the middle. It's pretty vanilla setting, I think. The history of 3 pianos, it's from Soundust instrument Ship's Piano 3, which has embedded in it 3 weird pianos. Well, one very weird piano, the Ship's Piano, the school grand piano, like a Hogwarts grand piano, and the Kramer upright. And we've also added in the Drift Instrument 1, which adds some body and sustain to the overall sound. So what you'll hear is that there's an attack section, and then take that out and just listen to the sustain portion, which is also piano-y, but cleverly hybridized. So let's add the attack portion again and have a listen. Now let's really go to town and add in a fully formed patch made from 6 pianos, 2 times 3 pianos. Now, a thing I really like to do as well is to use the CC control. So here's a handy tip. Hit the CC controller thing, click on pitch and wobble your mod wheel, and then you've got instant access to a nice tapey burble which you can control at will, like this. I think that just sounds really nice, and it's more subtle than using the pitch wheel, even if you have that set. By pitch wheel I mean your keyboard pitch wheel. And we've also done the same to tone as well, which gives you an almost expression pedally concept, or just a tone concept. And then we've got the mix automated as well on another controller, so we can move between the A and the B states, which is interesting if you have things panned hard right and hard left, which often we will. There you go, and there's the tone control. Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's load up some saxophonium. This one is made from an instrument called saxophonium, which is mainly about things, not just saxophones, there are saxophones, but it's also about reed instruments. So there's a selection of quite broken reed-based instruments in there. Let's do a crazy Michael Nyman-y thing. Now, watch this. If I just do one of them and change the attack start, we get this phase difference. Got them panned left and right, and you get super width, which is nice. And then if we go to the overall, in the link mode now, so the overall amp envelope and the overall filter controls both filters. And if we do something crazy with the filter envelope as well, we can experiment with the honkiness and the weirdness. We like a combination of honk and weird here. Who doesn't? There you go, bit of saxophonium. Let's now add in some auto harp, and this is from the Instrument Grand Thrift Auto Harp, which is a combination of plucked grand piano and auto harp, so extremes in size. And it's recorded with a built-in repeater, like that. So it has its own ghostly echo, which is baked into the overall sound. That's not a delay that's been added. Let's just, there you go, add it in with, so we've got pump organ on the left, which is another part of saxophonium. It's one of the pumps. So we're doing hard left and hard right so that you can hear the difference. And there's the tone control and the mix. Now the effects are quite lovely and sploshy. I mean, it's easy to hide behind them, but they do sound pretty good. And suddenly we're transformed into something a lot more majestic, because we also like a bit of majesty in its right place. There are 3 Bad Loop EPs, and what I mean by that is it's an original electric piano sample, but with built-in chaosified loops built in as part of the sound, and each note has a different chaotic loop to build up these lovely glissandos, miasmas. I'm not sure what they're called, murmurs. So that's just the A layer at the moment, the Bad Loop EP3, but if we add that back using our mix controller to the original auto harp repeater, you can see how you can build those hybrid sounds, which have a bit of everything. But then what if we load in another of the Bad Loop EPs, so we're doubly bad looped? So just adding a few little variations, and I just can't keep my hands off the wibble wobble. Quick mix, wibble wobble. Thank you. Let's go to cassette bots. Now this is made from an instrument called Choir Pool, which rips lots and lots of samples from the very heart of the Roland Vocal Designer, an external card which could be added into the V-Synth. And it's basically ancient 1990s technology which creates weird, almost real, but very definitely fake choir sounds and vocal sounds, and was a vocoder. And it does these really fake but great voice textures, which I really like. And here again, every single note has a different, slightly different sound in it. And here we are using the cutoff and the resonance for extra lovely wishy-washiness. Very nice sounding filters I've got on here as well. So they do really sing to you in quite a nice way, and that's with pretty vanilla effects, not a lot going on there. No other wow and flutter going on, that's all coming from the taped sounds themselves. The dirty orgone originally came from experiments having recorded a Hammond organ, which we all know is an additive synthesizer that builds its sounds out of sine waves. And I copied the basic architecture but used analog sourced sawtooth and square waves from cool synthesizers to create what became orgone. What we've done for this is record hybrid versions of that with filth. So it's dirty orgone because it is. I'm using the brake control here on aftertouch, so if I push harder on the note, you get the tape stop effect. Depending on how far you set it, it can be quite extreme. Let's take the cutoff down. And the same works with the filter as well. If I push on the aftertouch, it opens the filter up, which is quite a handy effect. And then let's go to the pitch wibble wobble here, which can be quite extreme, but it's interesting if you tempo sync it and put different tempo syncs on the two layers, so they bounce across each other. And on a square wave, so you can get that's going between the two different possibilities there, two different layers. And it gives you something pretty nice. Make it more subtle, put it onto a sine wave, and then we've got that glorious wooze. It's really nice. I like this patch a lot. Try the high pass filter, can be useful. There you go. I'm getting a little bit carried away with this now. Here we go. So we've got a little bit of the filter opening up with the filter envelope. And let's pitch A up an octave and keep B down an octave. And we've got them bouncing around with the LFO controlling the pan. So we get really wide, luscious fill, which is my favourite thing. So the dulcitone is a very important thing to the history of sound dust. It's the first thing I ever sampled. Seemingly now I'm the world expert on dulcitones. And a dulcitone is basically an electric piano, but without the electricity. It's got a tine system, a bit like an electric piano, and a very primitive piano keyboard. And it was originally designed in Scotland in the 1800s to be taken around by missionaries for sing-songs in African churches, because it's small and loudish, and you can fit it on the back of a mule, which I think is the main thing. But they're pretty rare these days, so it's good to be able to get a chance to use this kind of weird, rare and arcane sound. And it really suits the mellotronization process, which is quite poetic really. It's another ancient instrument put through an ancient instrument. And now we can play it like this. And there's plenty of grist and noise baked in, plus the mellotronization has quite an effect on the sound as well. But if you put the velocity high on filter and take down the cutoff, you can get something quite beautiful and tinkly, almost Celeste-like, but still with that metallic and slightly woody hint, which I really like. So you can make it quite delicate, add in some extra wibble and wobble. And that's with no effects. It's just the sound as it is. Okay, let's add in some ensemble, which can go a bit bonkers. A bit of amp and the noise I like. So there we go with a bit of extra beef. Bit of mod wheel there. Take the noise down. Stick some reverb in. Beautiful sounding reverb in this. Okay, and we can also make it into a pad. So this is the joy of all of this, is that you can just create different instruments with the same original material. There you go. Add in the filter envelope. I've had a really great time just playing around with the combinations of possibility. Not just the Dust-O-Tron sample sets, but you start combining with the other existent sample sets in here, and you've got some amazing combinations of weird hybrids. I encourage you to just dig in deep, or even shallow, because just by combining different things with previous presets, you can come up with some quite lovely stuff. Right, let's go into the loops. You've already heard the hits, but there's also 3 sets of loops from different instruments I've made. And we've got here on A is odd hop, which are deliberately wrong drum hits, contemporary ones. And then we've got the found loops, which are also all made by live recordings turned into kind of drum machines, basically. So it's all stuff from nature and the real world. Massive list of things in there. So this is just playing single finger, playing some loops. So it's playing both the found loops and the odd hop loops at the same time. But you can do great things with the effects here again. Go down with the filtering, resonance. It's that great sounding filter again. Bit of reverse as well, which will work really nicely. So there you have it. I hope that all makes sense. I've just tried to show you basically some of the possibilities of the many other possibilities that are available in there for you to have your own adventures and explore combinations, presets, patches, all the available things in there. It's been a great combination to put my sounds through the whole M-Tron process and come out with something which really adds a whole different element to organicness and dustiness that I'm kind of generally working with. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it all makes sense, and good luck. Catch you later. Bye.